Hey guys, and welcome to the Bayern View, and welcome to Fußball episode 5. Obviously, we're here with the two legends, as always. We're here with Alex, we're here with Justin, and yeah, man, we've got a lot to talk about in this show. Obviously, we had the UCL draw today, so obviously, me and Alex are going to be talking about that, and Justin's going to give his opinion on what you know, the teams and everything. Nick Woltemade to Newcastle, like what the hell? You know, the 6-0 win versus Leipzig. Obviously, we haven't spoken about that just yet. Jackson to Bayern. There's other things to talk about as well. So yeah, smash the likes, hit the subscribe button, and yeah, man, I can't wait for this. I love this show. Absolutely love this show. I love doing it with both these lads as well. They're two really cool lads. I'm not just saying that because we're live generally. Yeah, man, I love doing this show. I always look forward to it. So yeah, big up for the raid. Thank you very much, my bro. Man said so late, bro. We're like 6 minutes late. What? Bro, big up, lads. How are we?
I'm doing very well, thanks. Yourself?
Yeah, man, just chilling, bro.
Yeah, after the humblingness of the 6-0 thrashing, I said it could have been a cricket score, so I wasn't like completely shocked about it. But I was just being obviously optimistic and things like that. It's had the time to review it and do what I need to do on my end for content-wise, and pretty much moving on to the next game that we'll get into later on in the show and go from there. It's been bloody wet and stormy as well here in Australia, so I think we've had about 30 mils of rain each day for the last couple of days at least. So I'm surprised it's not actually storming now, so we don't have to worry about hearing rain in the background like a tin roof. I mean, no energy drink money for the way I've got my house, so.
Where should we start?
Wherever you like.
Do you want to start on our predictions for the games and go on that? Should we talk about the UCL draw? What do we want to do?
Yeah, game predictions. That sounds absolutely fine. How we did last week. No, I didn't do very well.
Well, look, I actually did the math. So in my tired haze, I actually managed 4 correct selections. I didn't get any like exact tips or anything like that. Because for people that don't know, we're with us on our show here, we're doing from what Alex pitched. It was 3 points for the correct score, 1 point for a correct like win or draw or whoever you get like to the result. And yeah, I have no idea what's going to happen with my ladder prediction. I sort of watched that back afterwards and think, what the freaking heck was I thinking and doing? But yeah, I managed to get some sort of coherentness coming out of me. So I am well rested today, so there's going to be no outlandish. Well, if there is any outlandish tips, they're for only me in my normal state. So yeah. I don't know if that's better or not.
But yeah, man. So obviously we start with the first game, which was Bayern Munich versus Leipzig. So obviously it was a 6-0 game, 6-0 win for Bayern Munich. So Alex said 2-2, Justin said 2-1, and then I said 3-2. So we basically all said that Leipzig would score. We obviously got that wrong. And yeah, the highest, you know, score-wise was mine, and I got that wrong. I did not see it being a thrashing like that. I know that we could do that. We've done that before. Last season it was 5-0, but yeah, didn't see that happening. Definitely didn't see that happening. So yeah, what's your opinion on it, obviously, as being a Leipzig fan, bro?
Yeah, look, like I said, pretty sure I said during the show, because I know I said during my podcast that it could have been a cricket score. The way that we've had defensive issues, they've been, you know, persistent for a while now. But under the new manager, Ole Werner, we have no shape basically. So it's not to say that we're not working on defense or anything like that. But when you don't have your players able to either talk, if it's communication breakdown, not talking to one another, or if it's just the potential positioning, you know, players like absolutely just having no structure, so to speak. You do that against, you know, one of the top sides in world football and arguably one of the top teams in the Bundesliga, Bayern Munich. You're going to get absolutely put to the sword. So you can't do that. I mean, the way I look at it from the plus side, it's better it happens now than it happens later on in the season, because now we have basically a fundamental framework of what you have wrong, which looks like a lot, under a new manager and things like that. So you have the time to actually prepare, and then basically it'll be interesting to see. I mean, we're only one day game match day down, but it will be interesting to see what happens when we get to the Rückrunde. So when we actually start to play you guys again on the away leg, or for us the home leg. So, I knew it was going to happen. I was hoping it wasn't, to be bluntly honest. I was basically trying to be as optimistic as possible. I looked at us against Sandhausen in the DFB-Pokal, the 4-2, left it real late to even get over the line. The quality there, you're not going to get those type of breaks when it comes to playing against Bayern Munich. So I was like, okay, maybe they just didn't want to show up because it's such a poor quality side. Take it easy, things like that. And that's probably just been maybe naive of myself. And there's actual fundamental structurally issues there, which I could see and a few other people could see as well. And you guys played absolutely fantastic. I did say Luis Diaz would score. I put him on player watch. I was actually very intrigued, as Willy Orban. From our perspective, I put him on player watch for us. He did quite well most of the time. There's a couple of times where he had really no choice but to push off his marker, Harry Kane, and then drift wide to try to stop Luis Diaz. And then you guys just you got too much quality. It's as simple as that. It was good to see Elise back in his natural position as well, instead of playing as a central attacking midfielder, which is like the number 10 role where Musiala was. I actually thought that he was better there. A bit surprised on Gnabry doing so well, to be honest, in that number 10 role. But look, you look at it, you've got pretty much experienced heads all over the park. So there was, you expected everyone to go in and do their job, pretty much. So
yeah,
that's pretty much all I've got to say for it. I can't really applaud you lads enough. What I will say though is I forgot to say last week, because obviously my tired haze, that to wear a Bayern Munich shirt, I was actually going to do that, and I'm sort of glad I didn't say that, because otherwise I'd be decked out in nothing but Bayern Munich gear, thanks to one of my mates. So he was absolutely loving it. He was like going to give me wagons full of Bayern paraphernalia, I guess I'll say. He had hats, he had beanies, he had shirts, and he even said like, look, he's a couple of sizes bigger than you, so you look like you might be wearing a smock or something like that. But hey, who cares? You're wearing the Bayern logo, not that bloody filth, what he says. So I was like, oh, but I forgot to say anything, and he goes, yeah, that'd be fucking right, wouldn't it? So I might have dodged a bullet on that one, but hey, we can always leave it open to the Rückrunde.
Yeah. Alex, what did you think of the game, bro?
Well, yeah, I thought, my prediction, I thought it might actually be close, but I was so wrong. I think it was just a clear gap in quality. I was quite impressed by Luis Diaz. I didn't think you hit the ground running quite so quickly, but then again, that's why they paid 75 million for him. Leipzig were obviously all over the place defensively, but it was clear that Bayern Munich were just one of those games, just one of those moods, and they always seem to be like that in the opening games. You've got to think, like a couple of seasons ago, they obviously beat Schalke 8-0. They're always most dangerous on the opening night. I feel sorry, because obviously it can happen to anyone, and when the whole world is watching, obviously with the BBC, for example, as well, the UK was watching. It's not great to see a team get thrashed, and maybe it wasn't the best advert for the Bundesliga, in the sense that it confirmed what a lot of people have been thinking, it's Farmers League and so on. It's just Bayern. So yeah, I feel sorry in that regard, but things can only get better. And like you say, it's good that you got this out of the way, because the next few games feel a lot better. And with that bad experience, you know what's wrong, and it should be easier from here on in.
Well, look, we play Heidenheim up next, who are tactically normally pretty adept. So it wouldn't be just saying that we're going to win our next game. But, you know, when it comes to the actual quality on the pitch, you definitely got something right there, which is you go Bayern, basically, and then you got a massive golfing class to everyone else. So, you know, if we lose 6-0 against Bayern Munich, then maybe we could only lose 3-0 against Heidenheim. Who knows? I'm not saying that's the prediction, but
at the end of the day, 3 points is 3 points, and yes, you lost 3 points in this case, but you could easily lose 3 points against a team like Heidenheim or a team like Hamburg, games which you expected to win. And to be honest, they probably hurt more because those games are the games which you expected to win. So, not the end of the world.
No,
absolutely. Another 33 games to go.
Exactly. Next game was obviously Alex's beloved Leverkusen. It finished 2-1. Prediction-wise, I said 2-1 to Leverkusen. Alex said 3-1 to Leverkusen, and Justin said 3-0 to Leverkusen. I'll start with you, bro. Obviously, it's your team. What went wrong, in your opinion?
Well, I feel like we had no ideas attacking-wise, none at all. The only real chances we created were from set pieces, and thankfully we had both Garcia and Grimaldo on the pitch, so two very good free kick takers. Yeah, so when the first goal went in, it's great header from Kwanzaa. I think maybe we just took it off the gas a bit. We had more of the ball, but it kind of reminded me a bit of the Peter Bosch football, where whilst we had a lot of possession, it was always in the wrong area of the pitch. It was always passing between the defenders, a lot of passing back. We lacked a player like Wirtz to actually do something. Our players, Andrick and Garcia, whilst he's supposed to be more of a creative player, they just didn't do it for me. And we were very easy to break through defensively as well. That being said, there were very few chances for either team, like very few. Neither team managed to get more than one expected goal. So whilst we lost to Hoffenheim, they didn't particularly play that great either. So it's hard to really take anything from the game, though. When we did make substitutions, Echeverry and Cavani, they both impressed. Looking forward to seeing Echeverry more. I expect him to play a big role in maybe this coming game against Bremen. Obviously, given it's number 9, he might be the so-called difference maker, though Sadio is very advanced. Yes, it's hard to really take anything from the game because neither team played particularly well, and it was also the first game of essentially a brand new team. So a few weeks in, maybe we can make more judgments on it.
No, I'm with you. Justin, what did you think, mate?
I think Alex had a little bit of insider knowledge here because originally he did some tipping saying that Hoffenheim would get up into like top 4 or something like that. And look what happened. So I think he's downplaying a little bit here. He's give some credit where credit's due. And, I think he might have known that it was coming. He might not have. But, he got a big grin on his face there. So I'm not going to speculate with anything else. I've probably got him into enough hot water as it is. So, look. I was quite surprised. At the result, I thought that Leverkusen could have and probably should have won it, even though Alex said that they were inherently bad. That being said, though, they're in the same boat as us when it comes to, new manager, new tactics, new everything like that. So there is going to be a bit of a teething process. So it's not actually a surprise to have them lose. It would have been if it was like maybe a thrashing, like a 3-1 or anything like that. So basically the only way you can go is up. I don't see Bayer Leverkusen getting worse or anything like that as the season progresses. So get these things out of the way. It may hurt their stance come end of season, depending on how tight it gets, but I do think they've got nothing to worry about. Hoffenheim pretty much too good. Software money beats pharmaceutical money, so I mean, I don't think a lot of people would have wanted to watch that one in terms of ownership wise, but yeah, it was good for the neutral, but yeah, I expected a bit more from Bayer Leverkusen, and that's no disrespect to Alex. I think he was probably expecting the same as well, with the quality, golf and quality in between the two sides as well. So, especially it being at home, I think it was at the Bayer Arena, if I recall correctly. So yeah, on to next week for basically to see what Leverkusen have, and basically the way I look at it is this is not direct competition between me and Alex, but it would be interesting to see which team gets their groundwork done first in terms of like the tactics and manager, what they want to get done and things like that over Ten Hag and Ole Werner.
Yeah, no, fully. I did not expect that. If I'm being 100% honest with you, I did not see that happening. So yeah, peak. To be quite honest, I don't mind that Leverkusen lost, just in the fact that we know fully that they're not going to go unbeaten now. Other than that, like, yeah, I wasn't expecting that though. Obviously, I know Alex put them high up in the Bundesliga thing that we did, but like a table thing we did, but I was not like I said 2-1. You know what I mean? I got the score right, but wrong. You know, the wrong team winning. So yeah, there's that. Game after that was Union Berlin versus Stuttgart. And so the game ended 2-1 to Union Berlin. So Alex said Stuttgart 1-0. I said Stuttgart 1-0. And Justin said
3-1 or something.
3-1 to Stuttgart. Yeah. So we all got it wrong on that. But to be honest, I'm glad they lost. I hope they continue to lose. I hope they get relegated. Because a certain man has gone to Newcastle, which we'll talk about after this. And I'm pissed about it, I'm not going to lie. So, yeah. Alex, what did you think of the game, though?
Well, I can't say I saw it, but
They were obviously all the same time on
that. Yeah. The result was kind of surprising. I mean, Union Berlin were probably favourites for many to be in the relegation battle. I guess Stuttgart, maybe the opening game in the Super Cup didn't do them any favours. And of course, with Woltemade on the verge of leaving, he probably wasn't at his best either. Goes to show that the competition is still alive and well. And Union Berlin, you know, they never have had star quality, but they have always had that team spirit that's got them places. So maybe they are a dark horse this year, but at least a mid-table spot.
Yeah. No, fully. Justin, what do you think?
Yeah, so all the other games I didn't catch live. I had to watch the Bundesliga highlight show and then skim through bits and pieces of it over the weekend. I was more trying to rattle and dismantle the humiliation. I can't even say the word properly. 6-0 loss from your lads. So, and trying to write something constructive instead of destructive, so to speak, for my show. So, I'll go with what Alex said here. I wanted to highlight that when they said that, you know, they've never had star quality players, but they've got good team spirit. So, you know, similar to St. Pauli, they're not going to. I mean, even though they're both in probably a relegation type fight, or down the lower end spectrum of the table, they're going to have the chance to turn around and win games like this against teams where they shouldn't really be winning on paper or on by right at all, maybe in some cases. So I put it down to more of the fact of that Stuttgart were probably not all there when it comes to mentally preparing for it, so to speak. Like too busy worrying about like life without Woltemade and things like that, and they thought, okay, we'll just go in and try to get the job done, and even if we're down on form, we should be good. But Union Berlin are one of those teams where they can have the habit to surprise and get over the line. So especially, I do believe it was played there as well, so in Union Berlin's home ground.
Yeah.
So even with the home fans and stuff like that behind them as well, they're even harder to beat and things like that. So yeah, a little surprised at the result when it came to just looking at it. But then when I watched some of the parts of it, then it was like, yeah, Stuttgart were just off, and it didn't really look like they were going to end up winning that one. They've also got a bit of a problem up front as well. And so if Woltemade was down on form, who is it? I think Demirovic, I think, and then there's another one.
And
Yeah, Undav's been like down as well on his output and things like that. So they've got now a problem for scoring goals. I'm not saying they're going to get relegated or anything like that. But depending on who they get to replace Nick Woltemade, or unless they can find other avenues, they might be going closer to the mid-table mark than more closer to the top for Champions League or European places. So it'll be interesting to see how they come around, if they get any acquisitions or anything like that to replace Woltemade, and how they'll go around tactically with that. Because obviously, as you know, it's all the way until January when the transfer window opens up again. So yeah, it'd be really interesting to see how they go about it in a tactical way.
Yeah, no, fully. The thing with Union Berlin is, I fully agree with both what you've said. It's they got that grind, that dog to grind out a result. As well. Obviously the team spirit needs to be there. Obviously you can't do that, but I think with that team spirit they have that dog, where they can grind out, certain things. So, but yeah, the next game was Freiburg versus Augsburg. So it finished 3-1 to Augsburg. So Alex said 1-1, Justin said 1-1, and I said 3-1, but not 3-1 to the right team. So again, I got the score correct, but not to the right team. So again, really surprised that Augsburg are a good team, don't get it twisted. But I'm surprised that they've gone and done that to Freiburg straight up, if I'm being honest. Again, obviously, most of these games were all at the same time. So, Alex, what do you think of the result?
Well, you say it's surprising that Augsburg win 3-1. Augsburg, everyone always says it. It's just one of those teams which always seems to be there, and those are the reasons why they are all right. They're a decent team. That is kind of their level. They're going to be somewhere between 11th and 10th, just in that obscure place, and those are the kind of results they are capable of. Again, unfortunately, didn't get to see the game, but yeah, not totally shocking. It is quite possible that could have happened, but I guess given that we were all hyping out Freiburg's defense, maybe that's the reason why no one ever considered that. So
no, fully, I fully agree. So am I right by saying, haven't Freiburg got Ginter?
Yes, they do. Yeah.
So but any football is football, eh? Justin, what do you think, mate?
Yeah, ironically enough, we all did say and harp on about that Freiburg. They're better defensively, but they don't really score. So if they're getting scored against, they're going to struggle. So, which is the reason why I went with a 1-1.
Yeah.
But then, as Alex said as well, that Arnsberg aren't totally a terrible team. They're not like an easy beat or anything like that in the competition. I've always liked to say that obviously as a Leipzig supporter, we haven't ever been worried about relegation, but let's just say that we do this season for whatever reason, right? As much as the competition would absolutely love that, if you score enough points or the same amount of points as Arnsberg, you generally are going to be okay. You're generally going to be staying up because they're normally around that mid-table to lower end spectrum. But you will, if you're scoring around their points, then you're not going to have too much to worry about. And they're going to get some games this season where they're going to surprise, and they're going to get some games this season where they're going to be drastically terrible. It's just how Arnsberg are. They're the other team in Bavaria that no one really cares about or knows much about, so to speak, except maybe the ultras and the diehard, supporters and international supporters of Arnsberg. So for some people new to the Bundesliga, they might or who've just popped in on the channel and things like that, they'd be like, "There's another team in Bavaria." Yes, there is. There's plenty of teams in other places in the Bundesliga Republic, but. Basically I would almost say like the little brother of Bayern, even though I'm pretty sure that Arnsberg have been around longer than Bayern, but in terms of quality and things like that, so it's disappointing. I thought it would probably be a little bit more better from a Freiburg perspective. I don't really like either team, but from a neutral or even a competition perspective, being a Leipzig supporter, then I look at it and you want to see the lesser clubs doing better. So in that case, good for Arnsberg, basically. But you can't really rate anyone off of a one season, because if you did, then we're relegated. So
yeah. No, fully. We'll get on to the games coming up this weekend, but yeah, we've got to play Augsburg, so it's going to be a tough game, but we'll get into that. Game after that was Heidenheim versus Wolfsburg. It ended 3-1 to Wolfsburg. I said 3-0 to Wolfsburg. Justin said 4-0, and Alex said 2-1 to Wolfsburg. So we all got the winner correct. I didn't get the score correct, but I basically did for Wolfsburg. I mean, like how many they would score.
I got the correct amount of goals in the match.
yeah. So craziness, absolute craziness. I do think Heidenheim are going to go down personally. I just don't think they're, and if they don't go down, I think they will be in the relegation playoffs again, which is obviously the main reason why they're, still in the league, because they won that. But Justin, I'll start with you this time. What did you think of that result, mate?
Not really too surprising. I mean, if anything, it's probably more surprising that Heidenheim actually scored, if anything, because I wasn't really expecting them to do much, which is why I said, Wolfsburg was going to end up winning. So I thought it was going to be more of just a done and dusted one, basically, like 2-0 at half time and then finishing it off in the second half or something like that. So for Heidenheim to be in it, so to speak, enough to salvage a point throughout most of the game, then you got to give them a bit of credit for that. But yeah, like as we all, I think we were all pretty much in agreement from last week that Heidenheim are going to go down or be very close to it. So you pretty much expect Heidenheim not to be getting many wins in the win column this season. So pretty much that's it.
Yeah, Alex.
Yeah, I agree. I also think it's quite interesting to see Wolfsburg getting to such a good start, because they are one of those teams which they should really be challenging for European spots, given their backing and the amount of money they have. Obviously, a game against Heidenheim isn't going to be one which is going to be season defining, but it's interesting to see that they've got such a good start, and it'd be interesting to see if it continues. Heidenheim, it's good that they have some fight in it, because Wolfsburg away is very difficult. They're a very difficult team to break down. So I guess credit to them for at least giving it a go. But yeah, it's pretty expected, to be honest.
Yeah, no, fully, 100%. Like we've all said, Heidenheim, they're either going to be down or they're going to be basically there, like Justin said. So No, I'm with you fully. Mate. The next game was Frankfurt versus Werder Bremen. 4-1 to Frankfurt. Excuse me. Alex said 3-0. Justin said 2-0. I said 1-1. So, yeah, none of us really got the thing other than obviously you two getting the winner, and I said that they would score a goal. But other than that, what did you think of the game, Alex? Results. Keep saying the game.
That's right. Yeah. So, well, I thought Frankfurt would do a statement win out, and so they did. I think they are going to be one of the top 4 challenges again. Some people are saying they could even be Bayern's main challenger, whether or not. I don't believe that will be the case. I think there will be Dortmund and Leipzig and Leverkusen something to say about that, but yeah, certainly puts them in very good stead, especially given that they've lost their star striker. I don't think Burkhardt scored in that game. Am I correct in saying that?
I don't believe so. I will quickly check.
It's all right. I got it
Yeah.
right here.
No, he didn't. No.
Yeah, so it's interesting to see if they can cope without him.
Yeah.
And obviously spread the goals out a bit more. Also, if they don't have Marmouche, they're going to have to come up with a new combination. So be interested to see what that happens. What happens with that in the future? But yeah, very, very good start. And hopefully Bremen can leak as many goals this weekend for Leverkusen.
Justin?
Yeah, obviously I gathered, Bremen not really doing too well. They should be in games or win games that they should be, in, and obviously it's not easy being green. So as the saying goes, so so I gathered that they would butcher it in some way or another. I was impressed by the young 19-year-old central midfielder from Turkey, the Can Uzan. I believe it's probably not how to say his name, but I'm going to say it.
I know who you're on about, yeah.
So yeah, he had a goal and assist. What was I most surprised about from his performance is that he had the most tackles, with 3 tackles on the pitch. So, which goes to show that if what was the defense doing from Bremen, if he had the most tackles on the pitch and he's an attacking midfielder, what was your defense doing? You'd think that you'd have more challenges and things like that, but no. So he'll be a player to watch throughout this season, the young 19-year-old. So give him until maybe the Rückrunde to get a move to Bayern Munich or something. As the Bundesliga goes, any decent player gets piped or rumored links with your mob. So, pretty much have not much else to say besides a bit of individual brilliance. And I'm definitely with Alex. They're going to struggle to score. So, when they're against teams who are either should be competing or are going to be lower than them, I think they'll do fine. But they're not going to be like Freiburg and not have a hard time scoring. But when it comes to, the mid-table teams and higher, that's pretty much where that defines their season, really. So, when they play up against, most known scoring teams, like pretty much all 3 of our teams when we're playing all properly, we normally score quite well. So the same thing against Dortmund and things like that. If they're playing up against those teams, that really defines their season. So on to next week for both teams and see what they can do in match day 2.
Yeah, I think it's annoying that Frankfurt can, they seem to be the team of recent years that just keeps getting these talents. It used to be Dortmund that were doing that, but now it seems to be them. Obviously they had Marmouche, Etitike, and now they've got these young lads that are scoring. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. To be fair, Justin has hit the nail on the head. I'm surprised we haven't been linked to him just yet, to be honest. But it seems like no one wants to sell to us anymore, which is fair. I understand it, not that it's not annoying, obviously, but that just is what it is, I guess. The game after that was Dortmund. St. Pauli 3, Dortmund 3. There was a red card in there as well, which was Mané, I believe is how you say his name, Felipe Mané. Which, to be honest with you, I have no clue who that is. I guess it's their centre back or something. Yeah, young player. Yeah, put it this way: Dortmund went up a goal, then they went to 1-1. Then they went up a goal again, 2-1. Up a goal again, which was 3-1, and then a penalty and a goal to make it 3-3. Dortmund just doing Dortmund things, to be quite honest. So yeah, 3-3. I said 4-1 to Dortmund. Alex said 4-1 to Dortmund, and Justin said 2-1 to Dortmund. And yeah, you know, we were on to getting the right result in the fact of, or the right winner. But yeah, Dortmund doing Dortmund things, they have to bottle it. So yeah, I love to see it. Don't get it twisted, but you know, I kind of do want to win on this like results ladder thing. So you know, if they could just, you know, stop losing and bottling things, would be amazing. But Justin, what did you think of the result, mate?
Yeah, I mean, all in all, we all probably should have seen it coming, especially at the Milan tour. I did mention that, and the
Yes.
tight haze that I had. It's a fantastic stadium and things like that, and the fans would be pumping, and it'd be a great atmosphere. So if people wanted to tune in from a neutral perspective, that would be one of the games to tune into to see what Bundesliga has to offer from a global perspective. And you know, the penalty was there, so you can't really do much about it. Red card given, and challenge in the box, pretty much stopping a goal scoring opportunity. You can't really deny with that much. And you know, from a neutral perspective, it's good. But you know, you really don't want to see. I mean, me being who I support and things like that, I'd probably say St. Pauli is a team that I dislike a bit more than Dortmund, only because of some of the Australians and things like that actually support them. So I've got mates and things like that who support them or other teams in the Bundesliga, obviously not mine. So, yeah, there's not really much else to say about it except that it was actually a good, entertaining game from start to finish. So it was one of the games I actually managed to watch the full highlights afterwards. I had to get my mind off of something because I was just writing nothing but total shite when it came to the preview of, you know, like the unpacking of the thrashing of on Friday night. So I had to watch something, and I ended up watching that one, and it was a pretty good game.
Alex?
Yeah, well, certainly a good result for Leverkusen fans and Leipzig fans. And like, yeah, like I say, Dortmund doing Dortmund things. They get more results like this than all the hype about all the new signings and everything. Maybe might die down very quickly, and it might be another one of those seasons for Dortmund where they're just going to hope for a late surge at the end of the season. But yeah, in terms of the actual game itself, well, seems to be an excellent, entertaining game. Yeah, 3-3 so both teams must be really an end-to-end game and leaky as well in terms of defense. I don't see Dortmund doing this every week, but I hope for more of the same.
Oh, 100%. We can agree on that. You know, and that's just Nico Kovac all over. You know, Bayern will know full while about him, the fraud. But yeah, and then actually not the last game, said the wrong thing. Then the game after that, the first of Sunday's games was Mainz versus Cologne. Finished 1-0 to Cologne. Mainz had a red card in there in the 60th minute. So yes, that was basically the only thing to really speak about in the game. And then in the 90th minute, Cologne get a goal, take the 3 points. Can't speak. And yeah, Mainz are going to be really annoyed considering they had the possession. They had 19 shots, only 2 of them being on target. So yeah, again, like I said, it finished 1-0 to Cologne. I said 2-2. Alex said 1-1, and Justin said 4-1 to Mainz. So yeah, I won't lie, I definitely didn't see that. So yeah, what do you think, Alex, on the result?
Well, the result thing is, whilst Cologne are a promoted team, they're different to most promoted teams. They do kind of already have a Bundesliga quality squad. And Mainz, they did do really well last season. They probably overperformed quite a bit too. It kind of was on the knife edge, in my opinion. I don't think Mainz were going to be clear winners, or Cologne, and I guess that's the way it turned out. Kind of, I believe last week I predicted Cologne to finish quite high up. Then I think 12, around that. Yeah, those are the games that are gonna get them there. Yeah, feel bit sorry for Mainz, because obviously Nadim Amiri, but yeah, it's kind of, it's one of those games like the Augsburg game. It had potential to go either way. So
yeah. So yeah, no, I'm with you fully, and I actually agree with you as well. Justin, what did you think, bro?
Yeah, Alex has put the nail on the head pretty much. That could have gone either way. Mine's, depending on what they do this season, will definitely show if they're overperformed or not. I personally thought that it was a very boring game. That it was pretty much a game for the goalkeepers, and the defenders and things like that, because both teams were woeful. Let's just put that out there as well. So, and that's no discredit to Cologne. They're obviously the better team on the day, and wholeheartedly, basically, deserved all 3 points. For the simple fact is that Mainz played so poorly as well. So, if Mainz really should have got their act together, and it doesn't matter who you play in the Bundesliga, even some of the newly promoted teams, Cologne's probably a little bit more in an advantage, as Alex said, having a more of a Bundesliga ready side, so to speak.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you're going to end up having these results come through. So, it's not like you're going to have everyone. Sorry if everyone can hear the rain on the tinfoil roof at the moment. Not like you're going to have these results be shocking or anything like that. So, yeah, pretty much look to see what the Billy Goats can do come this week.
No. By the way, we can't hear anything. Your microphone's not picking it up, so it's
beautiful.
But yeah, no. And then the last game was Mönchengladbach versus newly promoted. Sorry, I can't speak English. Hamburg, and it was a 0-0. I said 1-1. Justin said 4-1 to Mönchengladbach, and Alex said 2-1. So yeah, again, I got the result. Got the result, not the score. So yeah, that is basically that for that segment of the show. Hopefully you have enjoyed. If you have, smash the likes, hit the subscribe button, and let's continue. So, what do you want to do? Do you want to do week 2 predictions, or do you want to talk about UCL?
Champions League next. Good.
Champions League.
Yeah.
So, obviously, and this is not taking the piss, even though Justin doesn't care.
That's right. I'm just going to go, grab an energy drink and whatever, and do fuck knows what for the next 20 minutes. So,
so yeah, obviously, Champions League. There was the draw and so on and so forth. Obviously, me and Alex are in there, and unfortunately, frickin' Dortmund are in there as well. They're frauds. But match-wise in the draw and so on and so forth. Where is it? Why is it not giving me the damn thing?
I've got it here if you want it.
So Bayern Munich have Chelsea at home, PSG away, Club Brugge at home, Arsenal Football Club away, Sporting at home, PSV away, Union SG at home, and then Paphos away. I have no clue who the hell they are.
Probably a Greek team by the sounds of it.
Yeah.
Cypriot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, that is who we got. Straight up, Chelsea, PSG. It's going to be let's see what Bayern is about. They're two of the better teams in the competition, I would say. Arsenal, they have a good team, but this is Arsenal we're talking about. They could turn up, but their manager's an absolute clown. Club Brugge is going to be interesting to see what company can do. Again, we've got the better team. I'm not trying to sit here and say we don't, but obviously he was managing in that league with Anderlecht. Sporting, don't have Gokares. PSV, obviously the champions of the Eredivisie last year, and then the other two teams I have no clue about. Do you guys want to make any comment on who Bayern Munich got?
Well, I'd say that you got a very manageable draw. You should at least be aiming for top half by default. You got 5 pretty much locked in wins, I'd say, purely on paper.
Yep.
But you got probably the worst pot 2 team as well, so balance out a little bit.
Yep.
In terms of the 2 pot 1 teams, I can see 2 very, very tight games, but I do think Bayern Munich have enough to beat Chelsea. PSG, different kettle of fish, though they haven't been quite as intimidating since the Champions League win. You see the Club World Cup, the fact that they got beaten so easily by Chelsea. Having watched Chelsea, actually, to be fair, they are very tough, and even their second team can cause anyone problems. From those games, you should be expecting at least 16, 17 points.
Should be.
Yeah.
But this is, Bayern in the Champions League in recent years. Less said. To be honest. So yeah, I'm happy. I wanted to get Chelsea. I was hoping to get them away so I could go to the game. And of course, we get frickin' Arsenal away, which I'm sure those ticket prices, I'm probably going to have to, take one of my eyes out or lose a toe or something, sell it on the black market or something. So yeah, I will try to get to there, but the likelihood is, it is what it is. This is what it is. And then Leverkusen, they got PSG at home, Manchester City away, Villarreal at home, Benfica away, PSV at home, Olympiacos away, Newcastle at home, and then Copenhagen away. I would say you've got probably one of the worst draws, if I'm honest, or toughest, whatever people want to say. PSG, you've just mentioned it for Bayern. Obviously, we're in exactly the same boat when it comes to going against them. They're not going to have Donnarumma by the looks of it. I think he might be going to Manchester City, but either way, they've still got the firepower up top. Manchester City is never easy, even though they're being fraudulent at the moment. Villarreal can pull a they're one of those good Spanish teams. Benfica are a bit hit and miss. We've seen them in the Club World Cup, and I played them. Bayern Munich played them last season. They were a bit hit and miss. PSV, like I said, obviously Bayern Munich have got them as well. They're the champions currently of the Netherlands. Olympiacos, you should have enough, but you just never know against these teams. Newcastle, they're obviously the team that have got Nick Woltemade. And by the looks of it, they're going to lose Isaac and then Copenhagen. But what do you think? Obviously, you're the fan of the club, so I'll shut up 5 seconds. And you tell me what you think, mate.
Well, in terms of the level of teams, you probably couldn't have got much tougher.
Yeah.
There aren't any games where, say, we're the clear favourite other than maybe against Copenhagen. All of them are quite 50-50.
Yeah.
Like to think that you can get a result out of like a team like PSV or maybe Benfica or Villarreal, but they're so 50-50. Maybe and obviously when you talk about PSG and Man City, honestly, that's scary because you know what Man City can do to any team.
course.
Especially a team from Germany, they can put many goals past teams if they're not careful. But in terms of like as a fan, we've got some really nice games. Especially away. I look forward to going on an away trip. I don't think I'll be going to the Manchester game, but going to Copenhagen or Athens or Lisbon as a fan, those are very nice cities. So I have that to look forward to. Yeah, I'd say from that set of teams, maybe 8 to 10 points. It's pessimistic, but realistic. We probably have just enough to get into the top 24. And at the end of the day, like we finished sixth last year, and we ended up with probably the hardest draw we could have got. Real Madrid or Bayern Munich, crazy. So by finishing 24th, you never know, we might end up winning the Champions League like PSG. Well, not going to happen, but you have just as good a chance.
I know. Yeah, I think with it as well. I will shut up again in a second, so Justin can have his say. But like as a whole, I feel like with the Champions League, anyone obviously can win. You know what I mean? I'm not saying anything nobody knows, of course, but like some of those games are gonna be tight. Like I'm saying about some of the teams I don't know of. Wouldn't surprise me if Bayern drop points or lose to that team. But obviously, it's going to sound dumb saying it out loud, but you want to obviously finish top. Liverpool obviously finished first last season, and then obviously went and got PSG, and then obviously got knocked out. PSG went on the run that they did and won. But like this season is the season that you do want to get top, for instance, or the top two, because you get all of the away games at home, which is massive. Absolutely massive, all the way up to the final as well. So you realistically could get Real Madrid, hope not to have a big score, against you, and then take them home and hopefully beat them. Obviously, big teams can come and beat you at home. You know what I mean? I'm not saying this to you, Alex. I'm saying this in general as a whole. But yeah, it's going to be interesting with the Champions League this season. Like I said, the top two teams get the thing, and if you knock them out, you then get that. So for instance, if Bayern go through the playoffs again like we did last time, and then somehow we draw, let's just say Liverpool like last time, and we beat Liverpool, we would then go and get that until the final. So yeah, it's going to be super interesting. Justin, what do you think of the draws? What do you think, bro?
Yeah, both teams should be getting into the next stage. I don't really see them dropping out or anything like that. I mean, with the new Champions League way it looks, obviously we were probably touted with the worst draw last season. That's considering we didn't make it through. But I was actually quite impressed in some of the lower level teams, I guess you could say. I mean, they're all obviously top teams from their respective codes and things like that. Yeah. But for instance, for Bayern Munich, I was actually looking at the Sporting game. Would be interesting to see who's going to be leading the front there with Gyökeres gone to Arsenal, which you'll probably see him in the fixture before that. And then for Bayer Leverkusen, even though Villarreal are normally a team that doesn't normally score a lot, has a great defense and gets up there. So similar to Freiburg, they have a really good team, but they don't normally have any star-studded players or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they have good enough team to compete. But the actual one I was really looking forward to in that line there was for Bayer Leverkusen and Benfica, because Benfica are a massive club, and you don't expect them to. You think, oh, Benfica, okay, yeah, they're semi-okay. Like you don't really think of some of these teams that I've mentioned against your teams that they're really top. Tier top level teams in European football or Champions League football, but you'll be surprised, of what they can dish up on the day. So, ironically enough, I think they're both from Portugal. So,
literally,
yeah. I'll be watching most games throughout the season of the Champions League because I love good quality football. So basically, if I'm up or anything like that, and see a Champions League games on, I'll pick basically who I think's the best one to watch and go from there.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. And I think, Champions League is where it's at. You know what I mean? It is. You know what I mean? It really is, because you do go against the best. Now, don't get it twisted. I'm not trying to sit here and act like UEFA are, clean. If you get my point, definitely not. It's quite interesting that Man City always get, the groups that they get and the players that they get and the teams that they go against. But hey, it is what it is. And I'm sure
I'd be more worried about La Liga officials before UEFA.
Yeah, 100%. So, other than that, I don't really think we need to talk about any other teams. Obviously, we talk about our teams. That's the main thing. Nick Woltemade. So I was doing the draw with a couple of the other lads that I do content with. I'm not going to sit here and lie. It just popped up, and I have notifications on for Plety Goal, because obviously he talks quite a lot about Bayern as well, and so on and so forth. So, yeah, it popped up straight away, and I seen it. I was like, oh, bro. Exclusive Nick Woltemade to Newcastle, done deal. Full agreement with Stuttgart. Can't speak English today. 85 million euros fixed fee, plus 5 million in add-ons. The player is on his way and has already said goodbye to the squad. I will let you guys speak first. Obviously, this guy I was heavily linked to. We bidded about a gazillion times. Every one of them was rejected. It seems like Stuttgart are pushing this whole Leverkusen angle, where they're not going to sell to us, even though Leverkusen actually won a league and actually won something. Alex, what do you think of this deal, bro?
It's just completely crazy. I can't lie, it's just crazy. But it shows Stuttgart right to be patient. But why a player like Nick Woltemade, who is still a one-season wonder, is going for 90 million euros? I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. He has the potential to be one of the biggest flops ever.
Yep. Agreed.
And to replace a player like Isak, who himself is leaving for 150 million, supposedly, it just shows the market's gone out of control, completely out of control.
Fully, man.
And it's worrying that, obviously Stuttgart wouldn't sell to Bayern anyway if they had a choice.
Yeah.
That player wants to Newcastle over Bayern.
That's
seemingly wanting to go to Newcastle over
Listen,
Bayern. If he wanted to, he could have done more to push his case, like Isak. But yeah, it shows that the Super League is the Premier League. We don't need a Super League. It is the Premier League. Yeah, it's scary, because just think, Woltemade, any other season, say 5 years ago or earlier, Woltemade would be the kind of player that Leverkusen or Leipzig or Dortmund, that kind of level club, they would be interested in and potentially signing. But now any player that shows any kind of potential, they immediately go to the Premier League. It's just like a Hoover at this point. It's sickening.
Yeah,
It is sickening, and I know the Bayern fan. I feel angry about that, because the amount of money that's being talked about is completely unreasonable for Woltemade. So, yeah.
What do you think, Justin?
I absolutely agree with Alex here. I mean, I can't wait for him to flop in the Premier League. The Premier League is just so, the evaluation of players is just either really shit, or they just overinflate the pricing basically for. I thought it was just for sales, but so if another team was buying a Premier League player, now it's the other way. So it's not worth 90 million euros. There's no way in hell I'd be paying maybe half that, and in that you're getting on the sticky side of things, going 45 million, okay. But the one good thing about him flopping over in the Bundesliga, sorry, in the Premier League, is that he actually makes Timo Werner look good. Because remember how he was really good at RB Leipzig, and then he went over to Chelsea, and then he completely flopped. And he's basically ruined his career since. He's going to make him look like the Lionel Messi. Like, it's like what I will say though is that Isaac, who they originally they're trying to get rid of, he's done them dirty a little bit because no one wanted him beforehand. He was touted as basically someone who was shit. He came to Newcastle and pretty much lit it up. So maybe, just maybe, they're replacing a one-season wonder with another one-season wonder. But they're going to still get the raw end deal regardless. Yeah. So, because Nick Woltemade, I would be surprised if he gets double digits, to be blatantly honest. I mean, you might get a couple of headed goals and things like that from his height and stature, set pieces and corners and things like that against lower teams. But, yeah, look, if I'm a Stuttgart fan, I'm thinking, yeah, beautiful, got rid of a dead weight for decent money and things like that. I can reinvest it, but yeah, and it just goes to show that, I mean, it's great to have another opposition, player not going to you lads for once.
Yeah.
But what was your evaluation? It was like 50 or something like that, wasn't it?
Yeah. So
yeah,
like we put in a 55 million euro bid.
To me, that's too much. 50 tops.
Which was, or would have been, if they would have accepted it, a Bundesliga record from club to club.
He's not worth that. He's not worth that. He's not worth that record anyway.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's him going to the Premier League. It's better for everyone basically who's affected by it. So like you guys don't have to worry about a one trick pony for one season. You don't have to worry about wasting the money. I mean, I'd rather you guys waste it, of course, but Newcastle United, they have. I mean, I know they're touted, with the Saudi money and things like that, but I don't think they're investing properly in their bloody youth department or friggin' in their scouts because, there's a reason why he wasn't, touted with, top clubs in European football like Real Madrid or Barcelona or fucking Man City or Liverpool or shit like that, because for the simple fact of it's not fucking good. It's terrible. Hey, look, I could end up being red-faced and he might, score like 25 goals and be close to Erling Haaland or something. You never know. But I don't know what topsy-turvy universe that is, but it's not this one.
Yeah, like, I would have paid 55 million just to get him. We obviously bidded 65 million and they still said no. And the reason I wanted him is obviously we've got a world-class striker in Harry Kane. And I was hoping that, 1 second, let me clear my throat. Excuse me. I was hoping that maybe he plays with Harry Kane, he trains with Harry Kane for like 2 years maybe, and then, he can get something from Harry Kane, and then he's going to be the next German striker for the national team, and then he's going to be, the next guy for Bayern for the next however many years. But, yeah, this is just, like, I'm disappointed in him. I understand he wanted a move. So, if you want to move you can't get the move that you want, or you're touted apparently that you want, and then somebody else comes in and you still just want to get out of that place, fair enough. But the way I see it personally is like, it was said that he could come to Bayern in 2026. Why push for that move, or why accept that move? Like, yes, okay, you're going to get minutes. Obviously, this whole Isak thing, I think I would stay well away from Isak, in my personal opinion. Wonderful, wonderful player, but if he can do that to a team that's put trust in him, he's a snake. Nothing other than a freaking Judas, to be honest with you. So, yeah, cool. Newcastle isn't that big name, the big name now because they've got, it's a massive place in the UK, but, they've also got that Saudi backing and so on. But, like, yeah, on Nick Woltemade, I agree with you. I don't think he gets double digits. My plan was hoping that he would, get around 6 goals, get some assists, get some minutes in, and then we would, put him in slowly. You know what I mean? Play some DFB-Pokal games, maybe a couple of Champions League games. You know what I mean? But 85 million with 5 million in add-ons. What are those add-ons? Turning up for training?
Probably. I mean, look, if he was going to go to Bayern, he would have a little bit of natural improvement. I'm not saying that there's much left for him to improve, in like potential-wise and things like that, because he is just a one-season pony. But look, the way I look at it is that, if you around better quality players, so you're going to get better chances. So in a team like Bayern, you're going to get a little bit more. You probably won't see the same numbers, or you might just, but you won't get any better. So then if he was going to be your number one striker, he wouldn't be good enough, right? But him going to the Premier League is going to, a more difficult league where you're going to get some decent service, but you're not going to really, your opposition are also a lot harder as well, week in and week out. So he's just going to drop off the face of the earth.
And it's, obviously Stuttgart can completely screw themselves, from my perspective, Bayern perspective. And I really hope they get relegated, to be honest with you.
Stuttgart, right. Stuttgart did everything right, though. You can't.
No, I fully.
They got the best result for themselves.
Value, then you can't say no.
Yeah. No, fully. And that's the problem with Saudi money, isn't it? You know what I mean, and the Premier League money. You know what I mean. This is why when you either stay in the Premier League, so teams like West Ham, and up, Everton, so on. This is why they're fighting, and this is why the relegation battle to try to fight to stay up is so important for the Premier League, because soon as you stay in that Premier League, 100 million like that, you know what I mean? Imagine Alex, without selling Verts, if you just got 100 million like that, you know what I mean?
That's more than what you earn for winning the Bundesliga. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy.
So
and it's killing the clubs as well. You got Chelsea spending 1 billion more than they earn in transfer income. Then you got other teams like Everton who are trying to keep up but breaking the rules because they just can't. And you got other teams lower down the pyramid are seriously suffering. It's well, we're lucky to have 50+1. For that reason.
I'm actually surprised that Chelsea didn't break any laws or anything like that with the way that they spent, because the way it works for people that don't know, obviously that we're all aware of, is for financial fair play is that you can only spend the amount of money and stuff that you get. So you're telling me that over those seasons that they got over $1 billion in revenue? I think that's a load of shit, to be honest. I mean, I know they're a big club, but really, I don't know.
Mate, they're barely top 4 biggest clubs in England.
Oh yeah. You can understand why Manchester United spend what they spend, because they are one of, if not the biggest. Between them and Liverpool, they are the biggest. So, you understand why they can spend money on Sesko and so on.
And like I said before, they've got image as well.
Yeah.
Brand image. It's a world-renowned football brand. They could be mid-table team for the next 5 seasons or something like that, and they'd still have a massive fan base, and they'd still be known as one of the the top tier teams in world football. If someone goes, okay, write off a list of top 5 teams, and only try to use one team from each one, Manchester United would probably be the one that gets picked. If not, it'd be Liverpool. So, because that's what everyone thinks of as Premier League. It's like, Liverpool, Manchester United, and then it's the rest.
Yeah, so, I like the player, and I really, really, really wanted him, not just because it's Bayern Munich and taking another talent or anything like that, but just more in the fact of, I actually thought he was a good player, and I wanted to see if he was going to be a one-season wonder or not. So I don't want to wish him ill will, and obviously I can't wish anything on Stuttgart because they've just got the best deal that they possibly could. You know what I mean? Unless the Saudi club were going to come in, I don't think anybody else was really going to spend more than that. 55 million on a loan should have got him. You know what I mean? So, hey, it is what it is. Whatever. Bayern Munich are looking to get a striker / winger, though. And that is Nicholas Jackson from Chelsea. So, Leeson? I really can't speak. I think I'm the one that's tired today. That or I'm drunk. But yeah, season long loan. That's what I was trying to say. I don't know if it's an obligation or option yet. I don't think it's been said yet, but we are like in front runners to get him. What do you guys think on that?
I guess it's a solid backup. As a backup, it's you couldn't go wrong with it. With everyone's comments on him with his Chelsea performance, he's maybe not quite buying quality, but yeah, until you can get another superstar striker to eventually replace Harry Kane, I guess you can't go really wrong with it. Probably good from about 6 goals, 7 goals a season. The fact I find it quite funny then the fact that you're going for him after going for Woltemade. Some might say it's a step down, but the way that Jackson was mocked for his Chelsea performances, Baltimore is going to get the same. So, yeah, I'm sure he'll do a good job for you, but I don't think it's anything that's going to set the Bundesliga alight.
Yeah. I didn't. I'll let Justin say his piece in a minute, but I didn't know he could play wing. I was talking about it last night, and a lot of my the people that interact with me in the comments were like, "Yeah, he can either play cam or he can play wing." And I'm like, "Wing? He's a bloody striker. He can't play on the wing." And apparently in Villarreal, where he was before Chelsea, he was a winger. It was Chelsea that made him their striker. So if he could play on the wing, it makes me a bit more excited because I don't see him getting minutes with Harry Kane obviously being our main striker. I was thinking like, why are we getting him in of all players? But yeah, Justin, what do you think of this deal, mate?
Personally, I think it's laughable. The mighty Bayern have fallen, have they? So look, I don't think Nicholas Jackson is a top tier footballer. I've seen some of his highlight reels, and I've seen him like be 1-on-1 with a goalkeeper, or like for so long, and then he just completely just smashes it like 10 rows high and things like that, and it's just like he couldn't even make the goalkeeper work. Like fuck, so I don't think he's gonna do anything like massive like with Alex in terms of like setting the Bundesliga alight and things like that. I mean, he'll score goals. I mean, he's not gonna not score or anything like that. You'll get double digits, but if he's just gonna be a backup to Harry Kane or something, then he'll suffice. But for the price that you're going to be getting, I think Bayern are getting the raw end of the deal, so to speak. So I don't think he's worth like, what was it, 65 million euro or something?
Yeah.
Yeah. With a loan or something like that, maybe like 45, the same ballpark as what I was saying for like Woltemade. I mean, Woltemade is a lesser player than Nicholas Jackson, which is ironic. It just goes to show how bad he is. But I just basically see him as a mid player, and that unless you guys are getting paid less, you guys are getting screwed basically.
Yeah, no, I'm fully of that opinion as well. I understand.
To offload him, I mean, I know he's still quite young. I think it's like 24 or something.
24, yeah.
What you're gonna get him at 24, stay for a couple of seasons, try to sell him at 27, because you'll replace Harry Kane with the top tier quality striker by then. Like you're gonna get the 65 back. You're dreaming, So yeah, I would maybe. Yeah, I don't like. I like the deal in terms of you guys are getting screwed, but I don't like it in terms of it's bad business, for you guys anyway. So, I mean, it'd probably be better. The beneficiary of this would probably be the Bundesliga, because he'll score goals and things in the Bundesliga compared to what Nick Woltemade will do. So, I guess you can look at it from that perspective.
Yeah, no, and that's like my problem with that deal is the fact that it's like, do I want him? Yeah, I want him because I want another player, rather than it just being Luis Diaz. Like the other night, which we'll speak about the game in a minute, but the other night where we nearly knocked out the freaking DFB-Pokal in the first round, Luis Diaz didn't have his best game, and we needed him to come off, but we have no one. You know what I mean? Like, and a lot of people in my chat were saying, "Where's Wisdom Mike? Where's Wisdom Mike?" I'm like, bro, You cannot put Wisdom Mike on in the game where we are trying to get a goal. You will crush the kid. That's way too much pressure. Way too much pressure for Bayern. You know, like, I wouldn't even do it for either one of your teams either. You know what I mean? Like, if you need to go get a goal and you put a young kid on, and you expect, like, nah, not for me. Not for me. So, you know,
Well,
getting him in.
It's good that it's not for us, because we've played like a 16-year-old or something for 1 minute, didn't touch the ball, and everyone was fucking happy about it. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
It's
So,
like Fayak Shah, some young kid, and I was like, what the fuck? Like, we're just playing these people now just to have a stat, basically. Like, you know, like the youngest player in the Bundesliga is shit. Like, fucking hell, man.
I get you fully. So, yeah, if we could have another player, you know, apparently he could play on the wing. I don't know where company's going to play him, for being honest with you. And that's why I was a bit, like, miffed. That's why I wanted Højlund, because I knew that even if we had to sign Højlund, even though he's terrible, you know, it wouldn't be freaking 65, 70 million, because Chelsea are good at selling players. Man United, on the other hand, are not. So maybe Max Erbel could finesse them. But, yeah, if anything, we're getting finessed. So, yeah, that just is what it is. On that game quickly, because I do want to do our week 2 predictions, and I know it's getting on in time, and I don't want to take too much of your time. Where do I start? So we should have absolutely obliterated them. My preview, I said that Bayern Munich would win 7-0, not to put past them and be like, you know, they're shit or anything, but with all due respect, they're a freaking League 3 team, you know what I mean? But I just think we're cursed in this competition, if I'm honest with you. Since we've won the sextuple, we obviously haven't won this competition, but we haven't even got close to winning. You know, obviously Leverkusen knocked us out last season. I can see your smile, mister. This fucking guy's smiling at me. Obviously got knocked out by freaking Saarbrücken, or he got smashed by Mönchengladbach a couple of years back, 5-0 to get knocked out. You know what I mean? So I think we're cursed. But yeah, Harry Kane missed the penalty, scored a penalty. We should have had another penalty, but there's no VAR in these early rounds, which is typical. The guy literally was like laying on the field, hitting the ball with his hand, which is just totally typical. And yeah, we missed 9 big chances, 22 shots, 15 on target, missed 9 big chances. And again, like I was saying just a minute ago, that's why we need someone like Jackson. Not necessarily saying he's going to be amazing, but to actually bring somebody on, you know. So yeah, other than that, you know, we got there in the end. Harry Kane got the winner in the 94th minute. I was stressing, but hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. So, Alex, is there something you want to say, my friend?
Well, I was watching the Grimsby Man United game, and I had the score on the SoScore app, the Bayern Munich game. I thought it would be a simple Bayern Munich win, but it's like 2-0, and then it's only 2-2. You know, I had a funny feeling that Bayern Wiesbaden might have actually done something to you.
Yeah.
But given your history, I would not have been surprised if it had gone to penalties or something and you got knocked out. I would have loved it. But yeah, I guess you got the Bayern Dusel, as they say.
We got the luck in the end, yes.
Yeah.
Pete, Justin, do you want to say anything about the game or not?
No, it's just cup football, man. Like you almost get to see Bayern get kicked out in round 1 against a poor quality. Well, you'd think poor quality opposition, but that's just cup football, you know. So anything can happen, even in these lower leagues against the Bundesliga teams. So it's good to see that it was actually a bit more closer than, because in contrast, if you look at the last result against us, 6-0, and then you look at the result there, are they a better team than us? No, but when it comes to cup football, anything can happen. Yep. And, you almost think it should have been like an easy 3-0 win, for Bayern. So maybe a 3-1 if you give it, a sneaky consolation goal or something like that. But they had no right to pretty much get as close as they did in terms of paper, but it's never on paper. And cup football anything can happen, and it's a shame they didn't go to penalties, to be honest, because then that way I don't know who you guys. That's right, you play Arnsberg this week, so then your Bavarian brothers could have maybe had a sneaky chance or something with a overly tired Bayern squad, but in the end the right result happened in terms of quality and things like that. Just as painful as that is, because I don't like Bayern, as you know. So
yeah, of course.
but in the end, football won. In terms. So yeah, good game to watch.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Even though I would have liked it to not be as stressful. But
try being a Leipzig supporter.
fair. But yeah, let's. Is there any other news, or shall we just go straight into the week 2 predictions?
Maybe some quite big news from Leverkusen.
Yeah.
In terms of outgoings, there still could be some significant outgoings in Leverkusen. Arsenal supposedly have agreed personal terms with Piero Hincapié. So Hincapié, our best centre back probably over the last couple of seasons.
Yeah.
Good personal time with Arsenal, and they're just negotiating details of the fee now. Leverkusen adamant they will not let him go less than the release clause. Some say it's 60 million, some say it's 65 million, but they will not let him go for less. Arsenal are being a bit unfair, in my opinion. They are willing to pay the amount, 60 million, but they want to pay it a year later. They want to take him on loan for a season and then pay a 60 million obligation to buy. I think that's absolutely crazy. So we're just giving them our best defender, especially since like Tar's gone, for example, for a minuscule loan fee for money next year, which is I guess it's good that we can plan 60 million in the next summer transfer window, but we would need to fill a massive gap.
And what do you do now?
Yeah. What do we do now? Like, we have been looking at some interesting names, some which are certainly premium options. For example, Sven Botman. Apparently, we inquired about him, but we were quickly told no. And to be honest, if a Premier League team such as Newcastle, who can afford to wait for 150 million for Isak or not spend 90 million on Wolfsbourg, if they say no, then you're looking at probably a 60 plus million at the very least. Also looking at a Kanji, though that apparently isn't going to go ahead either, for a bit less. So chances are we're going to sign someone completely out of the blue, and we did sign someone completely out of the blue. Very recently we signed Lucas Vasquez on a free.
What's your opinion on that?
Well, a few years ago, it would have been excellent choice. Even now, to be fair, with his experience, he's probably won more trophies than everyone else in the team put together. So you can't go wrong with that, and he's so versatile, right back to right wing. He can do a job, and he is exceptionally fit and hard working, and it'll be a great example for all younger players. Probably means that got Arthur potentially going on loan to Paris FC, so another player on his way out. But yeah, I'm quite happy with it. Maybe he won't start every game, but as a reliable alternative, yeah, can't go wrong for him on the free.
Because I thought you were getting Klaus.
Sorry, yeah, Klaus.
Klaus, yeah.
I think it was the right decision to not sign him in the end, even though he is arguably a better player in terms of quality, and he probably would have had a more immediate impact than Vasquez. They were asking for 15 million euros or more, which is fine for a team like Sunderland, for example, who can afford that kind of player on a 32, for that kind of film, a 32-year-old. But Leverkusen is smarter than that, and yeah, for a free transfer, you're getting very, very good player. So,
what's your before we do the thingy? I'm actually so glad that you interrupted me. and said about the news because, and I didn't mean that in a rude way. I'm glad you did because I totally forgot about Ngempe, even though I can't ever say his name properly. And then Vasquez, I totally forgot about both those deals. What is going on with Boniface, bro? He failed his freaking medical.
He did.
Like the fudge.
Well, I feel so sorry for him because just think in January he was waiting at the airport with his packed suitcase, waiting to fly to Saudi Arabia, and then of course they signed John Duran. And now he's gone to Milan. Apparently, it's due to like a dodgy knee, which he sustained after doing private training sessions over the summer.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not often that a player fails a medical, and they really tried as well because I think they did something like 4 medical tests in total. But he just couldn't convince them. And given his injury history, he's already had like 2 ACLs before he even joined Leverkusen. And then even when he's been at Leverkusen, he barely managed to get a good string of games together. I worry for what will happen to him now because obviously you've got Schick and Barney, both very capable strikers in their own right, and have a player that was on the verge of leaving. It's like make or break for him now. He either could put his head down and become the striker that we always knew he would be, and what he has shown in glimpses over the years, or he could be completely sidelined, might not ever see the pitch again, might not even be on the bench. But it's very sad for him. But good for us, depending on what happens next. Because, like I said, he is a very good striker. He can do things that our other two can't. For example, in the game against Hoffenheim, he would have been perfect to bring on. Because unlike Schick, he gets into the game. He drops back. He can beat defenders. He can create chances on his own. Whereas Schick is very much, he's a very good finisher, but he's
not
very reliant on good service. Yeah. So.
No, fully. When I seen that, I was like, huh? Failed a freaking medical? Like, no one really fails a medical anymore. You know what I mean? Like, so yeah. But do you think if obviously you don't know what's going to happen, of course, if only that was the case. But like, do you think if he doesn't get minutes, do you think you'll try and get rid of him in January?
Definitely. I'm not sure why he's been on the move, seemingly on the move in the last 2 transfer windows, whether it's been a concerted effort by the club to get rid of him or not. He always seemed to be quite happy to join Leverkusen. He was ecstatic to join Leverkusen. He was wearing our kit for months beforehand. Maybe like I said before, his off-pitch behaviour hasn't been amazing in terms of the idiotic things he's done. I can quite imagine him being moved on because at this point everyone knows we want to move him on, and we are willing to accept less than probably what his true value is.
Because I know you were really annoyed, weren't you, with the price?
Yeah, 30 million was the buy option, which I think is basically just almost giving him away when you consider the fact that he's about the same age as Woltemade. And 90 million. But then again, right, if he's going for 30 million, it shows that the club knows something that we don't. If he's going for 30 million, he can't even pass a medical, you know.
Yeah.
What does that say about
maybe there was a reason for it, yeah.
Yeah, what was it saying about his body? Is he that fragile?
Yeah.
You know, he's a great player, but if he can only play 15 games a season without getting injured, then you can only be worth half what the value is, because you only can play half the games. That's just unfortunately the way it is.
No, fully, bro, fully. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens with him in January and going into the season if he does stay with you, the whole season. Let's get into our predictions though. So the first game, which is actually tomorrow, which is Hamburg versus St. Pauli. Obviously, Hamburg played away at Mönchengladbach, obviously got the 0-0. And obviously, St. Pauli played at home and got the 3-3 in the end. First game for Hamburg at home. I feel like they are going to turn up or do a little bit better than they did in the last one. Justin, I'll start with you, bro. What are you predicting, bro?
Yeah, this is actually a really good game to kick off match week 2. To have the Hamburg derby back in the Bundesliga again. It's been quite some time. This is a tough one for me. So I've gone with a 2-1 win for St. Pauli, but it could go either way, and it could even be a draw. I think regardless is going to be a great game to watch for anyone, including people in world football. There'll be like choreographs, there'll be everything that makes the Bundesliga, and it's going to be a really good game. So I'm just going to go with 2-1 for St. Pauli, only just for the simple fact is that they've been in the Bundesliga a little bit for some time, so they have a little bit more quality. But local derbies, anything can happen, so you can watch me, completely get this wrong. Who knows? But yeah, I'm going to go 2-1 St. Pauli.
What do you think, Alex?
I think it'll be an excellent game. Yeah, like Justin says, it's probably best game to kick off this new match week. I'll definitely be watching it. It's gonna be tough. I see goals, and a lot of drama as well. The derby, hopefully, tempers will be not too extreme, but at the same time, I would love to see a few yellow cards or red card, because that would really liven things up. I'm actually going to go for 3-2 for Hamburg, just for the home atmosphere, derby atmosphere. In terms of the teams, I'd say they're relatively even, and they both had quite solid showings. More so for St. Pauli, but then again, 10 men. Yeah, 3-2 for me. Hamburg.
3-2. Yeah, I do think St. Pauli will get goals, considering they did, score against one of the better teams in the league. So I think they are going to be up for it, of course. But I do agree. I do think Hamburg will win. So I'm actually going to go similar to you, Alex, but not exactly the same. I'm going to go 4-2 to Hamburg. I think, that place is going to be freaking rocking. So I can definitely see the 12th man becoming a thing in that particular game anyway. Game after that, obviously there are 4 games on at the same time. We'll go with Hoffenheim versus Frankfurt first. So obviously Hoffenheim beat Leverkusen 2-1, and Frankfurt beat Werder Bremen 4-1. I'll start with this one. I do think Hoffenheim will get goals, a goal, sorry, but I do think they are going to lose. And I actually think it will be exactly the same score for Frankfurt. So I'm going to go with a 4-1 win for Frankfurt. Alex, what do you think?
Yeah, tend to agree with you. Hoffenheim did obviously get one of the results of the weekend, maybe not the result, but certainly a shock result. But I don't think they won because they were the better team. We were both terrible. They won because we were absolutely rubbish. So I probably agree with you. Say a clear Frankfurt win, maybe 3-0, because Hoffenheim, they did struggle to create against us. They were just very effective when they did attack. But Frankfurt, they aren't in the same sort of state as Leverkusen at the moment. So
yeah,
3-0 to Frankfurt for me.
Justin?
Completely against the general consensus here. I've gone with a 2-2 draw, and for Hoffenheim to get their goals from simply mistakes from Frankfurt, and one they'll probably end up scoring their own. But if I'm wrong, it's definitely not. I don't see Hoffenheim winning this. It'll be a Frankfurt win, but I've gone with a 2-2 draw. I think Alex knows a little bit more than he's leading on. So when he said that TSG were going to get up there, so getting sneaky points like this here and there throughout the season will help Alex's cause. So 2-2.
Alex, do you want to start with the next game? The next game is RB Leipzig versus Heidenheim. Before you do, obviously Wolfsburg beat Heidenheim 3-1, and then obviously Bayern Munich smashed Leipzig 6-0. So I don't see that happening again, but I will let you start, bro.
Okay, so you can't get much worse than happened last week.
Yeah,
and I guess you got probably the best team to start the recovery. You said Heidenheim will be tough. They will be. You say 2-1 to Leipzig. It'll be a tough win. But you probably will have the majority of the chances, and it'll be a case of trying to break them down. And given your defensive struggles, as you always say, Heidenheim probably do have something in them to get at least a goal. So 2-1.
2-1. Justin?
Yeah, it's almost as if you've already listened to my podcast episode. 2-1 for me. I think that the defensive issues that were there, they're clearly now present. It's not just there's no excuses there in that regard. It was quite interesting to hear some of the comments and things like that from the players against you guys actually, and the coach. They basically acknowledged it, and I was like, well, then why the fuck haven't you basically done anything about it? So look, I'm going to say 2-1 win for RB Leipzig. Very, very hard-fought win. We're going to obviously have some mistakes with our defensive shape. Nothing's going to be fixed overnight, which is going to leave Heidenheim the chance to score. They've got enough tactical ability to be able to do that. Really interesting to see who starts in goal from an RB Leipzig perspective. I think Peter Galacci still starts, but I would be putting in Martin van der Voort for the simple fact is you have to start putting in the future goalkeeper now, so to speak, if you're going to do things right and do rebuilds properly. But the club sees things a different way than a lot of what the fans and myself are thinking. So 2-1 win. The quality is just going to get them over the line. Be interesting to find out if Xavi will actually play. I'm pretty sure he's not, because he's been exempt from training now for contract talks, so he might be on his way to England over the weekend. So it'd be very good to see us actually play ball without Xavi, because I've always said it's a double-edged sword. So he's more of a liability than anything. He comes up with flashes with brilliance and things like that, but he tends to do things wrong more often than not. So RBL 2-1 win.
I've gone with a win for you guys. Maybe you guys are onto something with maybe a 1 goal going against Leipzig, but I've gone with 2-0 Leipzig. Maybe I could be totally wrong there. But I'm thinking of 2-0. I think you have to recoup from that last, with all due respect, yes, it's Bayern Munich, of course. But you should have, and I'm sure you'll know this as well, Justin, should never be getting beat 6-0 on the opening day. You know what I mean?
That's right.
So
we got the firepower as well to win 4-0 or 4-1 or something. Excuse me, something stupid like that as well.
Yeah.
And not just against Heidenheim, who should be relegation favourites, but I just think that the defensive and the shape issues will be too present for that to be able to happen. So that's why I just said 2-1. Yeah. So I think we're in general consensus there'll be a few goals in this one.
Yeah, no, fully. Justin, do you want to start on the next one, bro? Werder Bremen versus Leverkusen.
Werder Bremen, Leverkusen. Yeah, so I've gone with a 3-2 win for Bayern Leverkusen. I think that even though both teams are technically struggling, so to speak, I think that Leverkusen have too much class. And then Bremen. I mean, at home they'll have every single chance to win or get some points out of this one, but I struggle to see how Bremen can beat Leverkusen. I just don't know how. I mean, they could draw, and that's the only reason what stopped me from going for like a 2-2 draw. Was because I think that Leverkusen still have the quality to score and get themselves over the line. So that's why I said 3-2 for Leverkusen.
Alex, what do you think, mate?
I think it'll be after last week. My confidence in the team's dropped a bit. But depending on who we play, I think that will decide it. Because if we continue to play with Garcia and Andrić, those two just do not mix. They aren't a good pairing. If Palacios gets in, I believe we should win. I also hope to see Tillman finally make his debut. He's been waiting for so long. And it would also be good to see Echeverry getting some more minutes. We are as bad as we were against Hoffenheim. The one thing we still have from our unbeaten season is our now 34 game away unbeaten streak. That extends since May 23. So I think 2-2 would be a cautious prediction, but given how we play against Hoffenheim, I think it's realistic for now. We're still waiting to really click, I'd say. And again, it depends very much on who's playing.
Yeah, no, fully. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I don't know why I just zoned out for like 2 seconds. What was your score?
2-2.
2-2.
Yeah.
Okay, my bad. I apologize.
Sorry.
Away with the fairies here. I went with a 3-1 win for Leverkusen. I would love nothing more than for you guys to lose. That would be absolutely fantastic, but I don't see it happening. And yeah, man, I want to see what Tillman can do. This is a player that should have realistically, if he's good enough to play for Leverkusen, good enough to play for PSV, why is he not good enough to play for Bayern? In my opinion, maybe there's a level up, whatever you want to say, but I'm sick of this whole having to play superstars. Yeah, cool, we can have superstars. I'm nothing against having superstars. If you did, I'd be questioning you as a fan. But yeah, I'm a bit pissed that you've still got him, if I'm being honest with you. That was a guy that come through our youth setup, and I think it's stupid. So yeah, I do think you are going to get the win, and I think you will win 3-1. Next game, I'll start. Saying this generally out of bias rather than using my head, and I want a 5-0 Mönchengladbach win.
Fuck it.
Oh my god.
Stuttgart can hold that.
I think he is tired this week. Bloody hell. He's fucking delusional now. Yeah, look, I've gone with a 2-2 for Gladbach and Stuttgart. The only reason why I've gone with a 2-2 is because I think it's realistic. But yeah, anything could happen. It could go either way, but I don't think there'd be many goals in it. It'd be like maybe a one goal either way, but I've gone to a 2-2 draw. We double check that. Yeah, 2-2 draw.
Alex, go ahead, man.
I'm also going for a more realistic score. I also think there's probably not much in it. I'm going for 1-0 Mönchengladbach win.
Yes, Alex.
I'd like to hope that Siouane's had enough time now to put together a good team, and Stuttgart, they aren't going to be the Stuttgart of last season or season before. They can't be. They're going to eventually fall back to where they were, slowly but surely. So yeah, Mönchengladbach 1-0.
1-0. Justin, Augsburg versus Bayern Munich.
Well, I'm gonna go 5-0 for Augsburg. I mean, no. So I'm gonna be realistic. I've actually said 5-2 for Bayern. I think in the Bavarian derby, we're gonna have plenty of goals. I think Bayern are gonna really go out there and put their midweek hiccups, I guess you could say, behind them from the cup. I think that they're going to come out, score plenty of goals. I think they're going to leave themselves exposed a little bit at the back, so I think that Augsburg might be able to, be a little bit of a threat on the counter and things like that. So yeah, I expect an entertaining game. Ultimately, an easy Bayern win.
Man said 5-2. I would love that. I went with a 3-1. They definitely will score a goal, and I think we will score goals, but I would love a 5. But we need to score freaking 5, to be honest with you. Man said 9-2 Augsburg. Lewis, I know you're shameless, but bro, company would have to be sacked after that.
That's worse than the 5-0
yeah.
back when you just said a minute ago.
Yeah. Alex, what do you think, mate?
I think there are goals in this for both teams. And if I'm right, the games between Augsburg and Bayern of late haven't actually been that clear cut. I don't think there's been any major thrashings. And say 3-2 to Bayern Munich. The midweek game did show some frailties, and it made me realise that Bayern Munich are human. And Augsburg, of course, they did very well against Freiburg. So one team on the up, one team's coming off from being humbled somewhat. Bayern Munich will win. Don't get me wrong, but it will be a bit of a struggle for you. It won't be so easy as against Leipzig.
Yeah. Justin, what do you think of Wolfsburg versus Mainz, mate?
Wolfsburg versus Mainz. Where have we got? I've gone with 2-2 draw for Mainz and Wolfsburg. Mainz have also just recently played a game midweek, so I think they're going to be a little bit tired. They've played on air today for the Conference League qualification, which they have done on the over 2 legs. So I think they're going to be a little bit tired from that, and Wolfsburg will capitalise. I mean, Wolfsburg could even win it as well, but for the sake of putting in a few draws here and there, I've gone with a 2-2 draw.
Alex, what do you think, mate?
Again, it's one of those games which could go either way, and I'd say about equal in terms of quality and where they can expect to be in the league. I think maybe 2-1 to Wolfsburg though. Just a little bit more for them.
No, fully. I've agreed with Justin. Different score though. I went with a 1-1. That's what I think. I do agree. I think them being a bit tired definitely could be the case. But and obviously they lost their main striker to Frankfurt, didn't they? So I think it's going to be a 1-1 in my opinion. Game after that is Dortmund versus Union Berlin. I think Dortmund are going to win. Wouldn't surprise me if they messed it up again. This is Dortmund doing Dortmund things, but I'm going with a 4-0 win for Dortmund. I think they're going to stack them goals, in my opinion. Alex, what do you think, mate?
I think that Dortmund will win. Then again, I thought they'd thrash St. Pauli, so I'm going to go for maybe 2-0 to Dortmund.
2-0. Okay. Justin, bro, what do you think?
I'm with you, Liam, a little bit on the amount of goals scored. I think it's going to be 4 goals or something like that. But I've gone with a 3-1 win for Borussia Dortmund. I mean, this is obviously a danger game for anyone trying to tip anything and whatnot, or predict anything, because Dortmund can just come in and be completely overwhelming favourites. $1 to the other person's like $1,000 or something, and then the $1,000 one pipes them. So, So yeah, I think 3-1. I think Dortmund, they all honestly should be winning it, and regardless, I think they'll win it at home in front of the yellow wall. But
That's what I was about to say.
yeah,
They're in
that's
front of the yellow wall, so
that's pretty much the only way that I see them winning. So if this was not at home, then I'd probably be closer to a draw, to be honest. So yeah, 3-1 win, Borussia Dortmund.
yeah, no, and I'm fully with that. I think that's why I went with so many goals, because they are in front of the yellow wall, so they are at home. If they are struggling, that stadium is going to be rocking to keep them going. Alex, I'll let you start on this one, bro. Last game of this prediction and of this week, Cologne versus Freiburg.
Okay, this will be tough. This will be tough. Given Cologne beat Mainz, and I'd say Mainz is also one of those teams which is equivalent to Freiburg or Freiburg. Those they're on that level. I think it'll be a 1-1 draw in this one. Freiburg must do better than last week. At the same time, Cologne obviously have the confidence of being back in the Bundesliga and getting off to a win. So I'd say, 1-1 would be realistic result for this one.
Justin, what are you thinking, bro?
I've gone against the grain, and I've actually gone 3-2 win for Freiburg. I think there's going to be plenty of goals for some reason. I don't know why. I know that Freiburg don't score many goals, but I think in this game is more interesting when it comes to the fact of you look at it, Freiburg should be winning. Cologne can also surprise. I think there's good enough quality on both sides. I think so that way there could be plenty of goals. Yeah, so 3-2 for me for Freiburg.
3-2. Yeah, I could see it. Me personally, I'm going with a stinky 1-0 win for Freiburg. Stinky old 1-0. Cologne fans, look away, because it's going to be a long night again. So yeah, I'm going with a 1-0 win for Freiburg. So yeah, guys, that is that done. I've got all of these down. To be fair, I do need to post it for you guys, so we can look at it and so on. I do have it on my my Canva though, which is what I've been writing it down on. So but yeah, bless up to everybody. Is there anything final thoughts that we need to talk about today? I think we spoke about everything in my opinion, but
no, not really. I think Cienza is going to Southampton or something from Heidenheim, but I don't think that's going to affect anything for this weekend.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I'm glad Alex said about the thingy. I would have forgot about their transfer business, because they are moving crazy. So yeah, man. But yeah, bless up to everybody. I hope everyone's doing well. Make sure you smash up the likes, hit the subscribe button. This is episode 5 of Alex Fußball done. Really enjoyed it. So bless up, lads. And I know it's getting a bit late. So I will, probably still early for Justin, but yeah, a bit late for me and Alex. So yeah, bless up, smash the likes, hit the subscribe button. I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, we'll be back next week with episode 6. So yeah, thank you, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Yes, Amia. Peace out, people. Peace out.